pasta. Specifically, we're going to be making ravioli, and we're going to make two kinds. The first one that we're going to do is a chicken marsala ravioli, and the second one that we're going to do is going to be a wild mushroom ravioli. So we're going to start with the chicken marsala ravioli. We're going to start with the chicken breast that I got from the grocery store, which it's still in both pieces. We're going to slice it up real thin. Well, we're going to slice it up into strips. It's not too terribly thin, because the first thing that we're going to do is brown this. And as I go along here, I'm just going to cut around this center piece, because I don't really want it in there, although there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to keep it, you certainly can. And I've already got my pan heated up. It's about on medium because we don't want to burn this. So there's a little bit of stuff on the side here. Alright, so we are going to take this over to the pan. The pan is nice and hot. I've got it just about medium to medium high. I'm going to put about a tablespoon or so of olive oil and move it around a little bit. And I'm just going to move that chicken into there. And I'm just going to start browning. Maybe turn it down just a little bit. Make sure every piece is touching here. And we're going to let this go for just a few minutes. And we're going to come back over here and start slicing up some of our stuff. While the chicken's browning, we're going to go ahead and finely chop a clove of garlic that this recipe calls for. Or you can crush it whichever way you want. I'm just going to slice mine, because what we're going to do is this is going to be put in a food processor in a little while, so it's not that big of a deal if it's very small or not. Also, we're going to add to that one shallot. I'm going to take out this outermost layer of skin here. And the same thing with this. I'm just going to slice it just a little bit. And just give it a quick little chop so that it's in a few small pieces. Alright, so that gives us those two items. We'll go ahead and put these in our little dish here so we can have them handy when we're ready over at the stove. We're back over here, and we're just going to turn this chicken a little bit to get both sides brown. And you can also chop this up a little bit with your spatula if you want to. It makes it sometimes a little bit easier. I'm going to turn this up a smidgen. Alright, we're just going to let that brown for a few more minutes. While our chicken is browning on the other side, we're going to come back over here and we're going to start slicing up approximately 4 slices of prosciutto. Well, the store I went to had prosciutto, but it was $24 a pound. So I decided to go with this, which is almost the same thing. It's just not, no, it's just not, but it's pretty much the same thing. You can ask whenever you go to the grocery store if you have a place you can go to that sells that kind of stuff. I got all my stuff at Fresh Market, and this stuff is called jamon serrano. So just ask them at the deli counter. But if they have prosciutto, that's, you can use it if you have it. If you can find it pre-sliced, theirs that they had there was one that they was going to have to slice for me. That's why it was so expensive. But if you can find it pre-sliced or in a package, it's usually cheaper. Alright. And we're just going to kind of break this up a little bit because it's going to, we want it to get cooked thoroughly a little bit while it's in there. And our chicken sounds like it's almost done. And to the chicken, what we're going to add is a 1/4 cup of Marsala wine. And Marsala is a pretty sweet wine. There's a chance that it's going to flame up on us. So I'm going to actually bring it back over here. So I'll bring that over here in just 1 second. And what we're going to do is glaze this pan with the 1/4 cup of Marsala wine, and hopefully it's not going to flame on me here. It didn't. That's good because I really didn't want it to. I'm going to take this back over here. This is deglaze the pan just a little bit. To that, we're going to go ahead and add four bay leaves, a little bit of dried parsley, and a little bit of dried thyme, the onion and the shallot that we chopped up earlier. We're going to get that incorporated just a little bit. Make sure our heat's turned down. And you could also add those before you add the Marsala wine if you wanted to. And we're also going to add the prosciutto, which the fat's going to start rendering out of that and make this, give this a lot of flavor. And if it seems a little dry, like this one's just a little bit dry, you can always add a little bit of olive oil to it just to keep it nice and moist. And we're going to cook this a little bit until the prosciutto kind of lets some of its fat out and everything kind of comes together. This looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take this along with some of our other ingredients, which actually here we have 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs and 1 tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. We're going to take it over here, back to the sink, and we're going to get rid of these bay leaves because we do not want them. We're going to add the Parmesan cheese and the breadcrumbs. Get it stirred in a little bit more to kind of get all of the juices together. And then we are going to put this in a food processor. Hopefully I'm not going to dump it on myself. In the meantime, try to get everything out here in the food processor. And we're just going to pulse this a little bit to start getting it ground up. I'm going to pulse it a little bit. Since this is going in the ravioli shell, we need to make sure that it's small enough to... Alright, that should be about right. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Then to that, we are going to add an egg and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And we're also going to add another tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. And we're going to stir this up really good and put it in the freezer because we want to make this, soon. So we're going to put this in the freezer. I got a big bowl so I can have it out real thin. I'm going to put it in the freezer so it'll chill pretty quickly because you want to have this chilled before you put it in your ravioli dough.